welcome to the Adventures with Yarn podcast, where I will be talking about knitting and crochet, and as well as occasionally some other crafts. If you are a new viewer, welcome to my channel. This is a brand new podcast, my second episode, and if you are a subscriber, welcome back. I hope you guys all had a great Halloween. I know I really enjoyed seeing some of the other podcasters' spooktacular episodes, and as well as the very lovely costumes. And Christy Glass Knits did a podcast, I guess, where she dressed up. It was kind of a little bit more of a roast of a whole bunch of other popular knitting podcasters. But it was really funny, and also opened my eyes to other podcasters just because I'm kind of a noob at this thing. But that was really funny. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. And I'll put some links in the description down below. But anyways, so we will start off with some finished objects. I have something that was on the needles last time I podcasted, and that is the Prairie Wheat Cowl. And I had just had this on the needles before, and now it's done. So this was an adventure with wool. It is actually mostly alpaca, mostly baby alpaca and merino wool. It's 70% baby alpaca and 30% merino wool. This, the yarn is Cascades yarn, the Echo Duo in the Storm colorway, and it is undyed yarn. Undyed baby alpaca and merino wool. This was an experience. This was definitely an experience working with. I think in the past I've been very much intimidated to use something like this, but actually it wasn't bad making it up. It is pretty fuzzy. It's kind of got what I think some people call a little bit of a halo. It's pretty soft. I did block it, which was an adventure in itself. I don't have a ton of experience blocking. I think mostly I make things that don't always require blocking, like those little doohickeys you might see behind me. Those don't need blocking. But especially when I finished this and I saw it was not exactly in the dimensions that I wanted, I said, oh, okay, we gotta block this thing. So I did. It took a while to dry. That's for sure. But it blocked beautifully and turned out to be the shape that I want. So this will be a lovely cowl that I am intending for someone to give them for Christmas. The pattern, like I said, so the pattern is called the Prairie Wheat Cowl, and is actually designed by someone named Adina Longston with Cascade Yarns. And you can see it's got a bunch of cables, and the interesting kind of cables, not the cables you might think when you say cables, you think of like little braids, but kind of, I guess, more like little antlers. And I'm really glad that the texture didn't get lost in the striping of color in this one. So yeah, this is going to make a lovely present. It's nice and soft. And that was a nice, fun, relatively fast knit. The next finished object I have to show you is pretty fun. I know that last podcast I showed you the chevron baby blanket that I knitted for my new baby niece, baby Oliviana. So, you know, it was time to move on to the next person to make a gift for, but I kind of just got this hankering, and it was on Halloween day, and I was at home, and I thought, you know, I want to whip something up, Especially, I think I was thinking I wanted to whip something up in crochet instead of knitting, because sometimes my hands get kind of sore, especially if I'm working on little needles. My fingers get sore, and crocheting is just, you know, it's a different movement. So it's more so, if I'm going to be painful, it's more so going to be in the wrist, of the cranking it out. But I wanted to whip something out, and so I did. I whipped up this little beauty, this little cutie patootie. This is one of my favorite designs. Actually, come to think of it, this pattern was my very first crochet object that I ever made, and I crocheted before I ever learned to knit, and that was in 2012, the Christmas of 2012. I found a video on YouTube. Someone was making something similar, and then I found Repeat Crafter Me on, I don't remember if I found her on Ravelry at the very first or if I found her online, but she is an amazing designer. I think mostly crocheted things. But so we got this little owl hat, and I definitely used yarn from my stash. So nothing fancy. It is Vanna's Choice yarn in barley, and I don't remember what color exactly the pink is, or if it's just pink. And then some white that's probably like Red Heart yarn, and some yellow that's Red Heart yarn. But all this was already in my closet, my yarn closet that is my stash. And I decided to embroider, in a way, the eyes with black yarn instead of sewing on a button like the pattern actually calls for. I think I mentioned also in my previous podcast that sometimes I prefer that over to sewing on a button, just in case, worst case scenario, you know, a button falls off and then becomes a choking hazard, and we just don't even want to go there. So you can see we've got ear flaps and this lovely little braid that can, you know, do whatever, just hang there and look cute. So yeah, I was home during the day, just snuggled up, watching TV, answering the door to trick-or-treaters, and whipping up this little thing. I do realize that I've already made 2 Christmas presents for baby Oliviana, and that is a little bit different. Some of my family, come Christmas, may be wondering, hey, how come she gets all the presents? How come you made everything for her and we only get one little hat, or whatever I make them? And to them, I'll have to say, excuse me, is your name baby Oliviana? Are you a precious little baby angel with a bald head sent from heaven to grace us with her presence? Oh, is the answer no? Then zip it. Zip it. The first little baby of the family. Enough said. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, so she's gonna have this really cute little hat. And you can find this as a free Ravelry pattern on Ravelry. Okay, so enough with that. So those are my finished objects for this week. We have some works in progress. So last week I showed you some yarn that I had bought. It was the yarn by Manos del Uruguay in their Allegra Grande. I'm so sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. In the colorway called Acero, and I decided to cast on with that. So here's what I got so far. So I love how this yarn is turning out to be, and it's a lot softer and just kind of butterier than I might have imagined too. It's really nice. It feels really nice. Oh, I should have brought the tag with me to see what exactly it's made of. I think it's got some maybe some merino and nylon. Oh, I don't exactly remember. But we have this here, and I found a pattern called the photographer hat. So this is going to be a hat with a bunch of ribbing. So it's going to have 6 inches of ribbing, which I'm just about there. So this will be the bottom of the hat before it kind of moves on to like a bit of a slouch. I just really appreciate that it turned out striped. I didn't know if it would be striped or if it would kind of have some pooling, but I was kind of willing to just go with whatever happens, and we'll just make it work because I really liked the colors and the combinations of these colors. So far it has striped, and who knows, maybe when we get to the actual hat part, that might change. It calls to be on some larger needles once you're finished with the ribbing. And then I think it's just going to be stockinette stitch instead of this ribbed, this knit 2 purl 2 rib. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, but I am really excited about it. Here's a ball of yarn, how it looks like all balled up on itself. So yeah, this is the photographer hat, another free pattern on Ravelry, and the pattern is by Lavanya Patriciella. I really hope I'm saying that right, but I'm really appreciating it. This is also going to be a gift for a certain somebody that the colors really reminded me of. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but I have this super cute stitch marker. It's not a progress keeper for now. It is a stitch marker, and this is by the Clever Clove, and maybe I will insert a better picture of it. But it is adorable. It is this little dinosaur knitting a little sweater, and like I said, that is the Clever Clove, and you can find them on Instagram and Etsy, and they just have really cute little stitch markers, and I really enjoy having that there. So yeah, this has been a fun knit, but I am having some family come into town soon, and one of them that I'll be seeing is going to be the recipient of this gift. So I wanted to cast on something else, and my husband thinks that was kind of a silly idea. My thoughts are, I don't want, I want it to be a surprise. It's for Christmas. It's a Christmas present. I want it to be a surprise. I don't want someone to ask me and, me give some kind of answer that might give something away. I'm kind of bad at secrets. But my husband's thoughts were, his thoughts are that people are not going to know what it is I'm actually knitting until it's finished. They're just going to see what it is and the colors and think, oh, that's cool. I wonder what it is. I have no idea what it is. But I just kind of feel like it kind of gives away part of the surprise. So I am going to put that on a little pause over the next 2 days while I'm visiting, and hide it away. And I cast on, I have 2 other projects that I want to have in the works. So I did cast on something. I found a knit along to knit along with on Ravelry. And it is a mystery blanket cowl. Cowl being K-A-L, knit along. So a mystery knit along, that sounds intriguing. I've never done one of those before either. So I figured that'll be really fun. And what it is the 12 blocks for Christmas. And I don't remember who's actually oh, it is Ola Lana is the name of the designer who's putting these out. And there's 12 blocks, and they are going to put out a block. It's like 1 block a week or maybe 2 blocks a week, but you only get the pattern for 1 block at a time. And then eventually you can knit them all together, or you can make multiples, and it was make a blanket. So this sounds something that I very much would like to do for the experience of it. They put out the pattern for 1 block so far, and it is so far this kind of it's supposed to be like a triangle texture. Kind of looks more like bricks to me, but I thought that it would be a very quick knit up, like, oh, I'll just whip up this square. This square has taken me quite a while. I worked on this like all day, not all day, a lot of the day, a lot of my free time during the day yesterday on my day off, and have not even finished the full square. So these squares may well take me the whole week until the next square comes out. I was hoping this would be a little something to work like in between projects. We'll make it work. This is some black yarn, and I don't know if you can see the kind of little flecks here and there of white on the camera, but this is some stash yarn, and I'm fairly certain that this is some Vanna's Choice yarn, Lion Brand wool, and just kind of this black. So my plans are to follow this mystery knit along and make a square with each one, maybe some multiples. We'll see about how the size goes. And I want to make a blanket for my husband for Christmas. He doesn't get a whole lot of Christmas gifts. It's kind of funny that you know, the people you care about the most maybe might sit on the back burner when it comes to presents. I guess usually I get him other types of presents. I've knit him a hat, I've knit him a scarf. The hat just didn't really fit so well, and the scarf was really big, maybe not exactly his style, but I think that a blanket would be nice. And his style is black. He likes black everything. Black on black on black. And actually there's a really funny story. We had lost our little Apple TV remote, and one side of it is like silvery color, but if you flip it over, it's black. And usually I'm in control of the TV because I'm crafting and watching TV. And so when it was lost, he was certain that I had lost it. And where had I put it? Where did it go? And the chances very well could have been that I had lost it because of how much TV I am watching while I'm crafting. So just, well, who knows? Let's look under this yarn, look under my little stash in the corner where I sit, and I don't know, couldn't find it. We had to use another remote for like 2 weeks. This was gone, and I happened to I happened to have needed to go into his office to find something, and like I said, black on black on black. That little remote was face down, right on the shelf, right in front of his computer monitor, right where it would have been in front of his face that whole time. But it was on a black little shelf in front of a black computer monitor. It was just black on black on black. I mean, it was hidden. There was so much black in there. But so what I'm thinking is blacks and grays and just very much different tones of gray, maybe different tones of black, we'll see, because that is just very much his style. And especially if we can make things, you know, bit by bit, I think it'll be easier to make a large item by the time that it's done. So that's exciting. So I will be knitting along in the mystery knit along 12 blocks for Christmas is what it's called. And I do believe they're going to give us time. All the blocks should be out. The patterns for all the blocks should be out with several weeks to give me time to seam it together, maybe knit like a border on it, and that kind of thing. So that will be really fun. And if you can't tell, I'm trying to bust out my stash. I previously mentioned in my other podcast that my stash is a lot of acrylic stuff, a lot of stuff from Walmart, Micheals, JoAnn Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, and I recently just kind of feel that I've become woke to this community of really nice hand-dyed yarns and things of different wool blends and really nice things. So maybe I can start transitioning out my stash for really nice stuff. But that means I do need to use up my stash. So I think this will be a great way to do that. So on to the next work in progress. Actually, it's not a work in progress yet. I have plans, intentions. I want to make a special something for someone. And I have been looking around at different patterns and stuff, and something caught my eye. And it was the Nightshift shawl by Andrea Mowry of Renee Knits. I really hope I'm saying that all right. But this is a beautiful looking shawl. It looks amazing. And it looks, I hope, relatively easy to knit. It looks really, really cool. I really want to make it. And I was looking at it, it looks so colorful, the different stripes and areas where different yarns are playing against each other. And I saw the yarn that it called for. I don't have that, spin cycle yarn in different colors, and it called for like 5 different skeins, 5 or 6 different skeins. But that yarn is really expensive. I think it's like, if you just buy it online, I want to say it's like $35. And you can buy a kit for like $180. And so for a moment, I put the idea on the back burner. I thought, I can't make this shawl until I can get that yarn. And that's just how it's going to be. But then I started thinking about using other types of yarn. And I started thinking, like, is that going to be, like, sacrilege? Like, is that going to be really bad to use other types of yarn? Like, what would that look like? But you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. We talked about busting out the stash. So I went into my stash to find yarns that little variegated and that could maybe play against each other while kind of shifting colors a little bit, and kind of see if we can make this work. So I went into my stash and I've picked out 6 different colors of yarn, and some are a little variegated, some are kind of sparkly. So, but this person that I'm going to make this for is very bold, unique, special, and gives me a lot of inspiration. So I think that this could just maybe work. So I will show you each ball of yarn at a time. So this is, what is it? It's called Dazzling by Yarn Bee. So this is from Hobby Lobby. Yes, acrylic yarn. But it kind of changes colors a little bit. Hopefully you can see kind of between darker blues and teals, and it definitely has some sparkle in it. So that is from Hobby Lobby. So that will be 1 ball of yarn. And then we're going to also, in the spirit of Hobby Lobby, have some I Love This yarn. And this is in Aqua Sparkle with kind of a little bit of a sparkle to it as well. It doesn't seem like it's showing up on the camera, but just trust me, it has sparkle in it. This is also I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in Coraline. It does not have sparkle, but it kind of has this little kind of variegated-ish corals and light corals and stuff. Then we have some sparklies. more sparklies. This is the Red Heart Boutique Gleam in the color Smoke, and it's kind of this grayish with these gold sparkle, like gold foil kind of wound through it. So there's that. And then we have Yarn Bee, more yarn from Hobby Lobby. This is called Mariposa Prairie, and kind of goes back and forth with some teals and corals and lighter tones thereof as well. There's going to be that. And then I threw away the label for this, but I'm fairly sure this is also a Lion brand yarn, and it is brown with some sparkle as well. So hopefully the brown and the gray won't mismatch, and I'll have to make sure that they're not like right next to each other. But if I have them between some of these other yarns, I mean, I think that they will go well together. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? Something like that. Just kind of have to be like over here, to show up over here, something. I'll let you know how this goes, but the way that the Nightshift pattern goes, you kind of start like with color A, with color B, and do that pattern for a section, and then the next section is like color A and color C, and then after that maybe color, however it goes. So it just kind of shifts from the different color combinations, and I think this is going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited to make it, and I hope that it really turns out well. I know that the quality of the yarn will be nothing like the quality if you were to actually buy some spin cycle yarn, but I really want to use up my stash. I think that these will work out with the sparkles and the colors that they are, so I'm really excited to get working on that pretty soon. So the next thing I have to show you, I mean, here I am talking about busting out my stash and using what I have, but yet, yeah, I am still buying yarn other places too. But I want to show you what came in the mail this week. I went online and found some things on the Knit Picks website, and I just couldn't stop myself, kind of just had to. I got this kit, and I'm gonna take a drink here. Check out this mug. How cute is that? Just one more row, just one more row, just one more row. I'm gonna take a drink here. And this is just so cute. So this came in a kit, and here we have this Knit Picks logo on the back. The kit came with this super cute mug, as well as this tote. And how cute is this? Weekend plans, crochet with a chance of movie marathons. Yes, please. That is my kind of weekend. Yes. So I really had to grab this kit. Was like perfect, just spoke to me. This bag also is from Eco Bags, and it is made of recycled cotton canvas, which is really cool. And it's a nice big size. I think I can carry around, well, I think I'm going to carry around the yarn that I'm going to make with the Nightshift. So they can all be in the same place. A nice, great big bag. It's got this, it's got a little button there, little snap to kind of keep it closed. Anyways, that's not all that came in that kit. There was actually yarn too. So it came with some a little colorway, a few different colors. This is the Knit Picks Comfy Worsted yarn, and this color is called Flamingo. Came with Flamingo and Peony. Whisker. See if we can do this here. hawk. And ivory right here. So I really like pinks and grays, especially together. So I don't know what I would make with these so far, but they just feel just lovely and will make a nice something or other. So that was part of a kit with the bag and this lovely mug. So I got that. I also picked up some fingering weight sock yarn in 2 different kinds of tweed. This says Flagstone Heather in Knit Picks Stroll Tweed, and this is Oyster Heather. So I figured these could make a nice kind of gender neutral sort of sock if I want to make some socks for somebody else or for myself. Put some plans for these, but those will be really lovely, really nice. And then of course, if you spent so much money, you could get free shipping. So I went ahead and added on some books as if I don't have enough already, but this is Keeping Home by Knit Picks, and they have some really cute designs. I just think these are really cute for the kitchen. Some like dishcloths and washcloths that look like eggs and bacon and toast, and lots of like hanging towels and stuff like that. So that could be fun, and as well as this called Tucked In Chic and Cozy Blankets. Definitely can use up stash yarn with blankets, so I figured I would just throw this in the mix as well. Okay, and that was my yarn haul for the week. I've got some plans. I'm excited to be knitting along in the mystery Christmas blanket knit along, and also to start the Nightshift shawl in those really, really pretty colors. So yeah, it should be a fun and exciting crafting week. I really hope that you guys also have some exciting projects. Comment below. I would love to hear what you guys are working on too. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. And again, I'm Louise with the Adventures with Yarn podcast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.